Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, has it become a two-way battle for Bihar as we count down to polling day? Has Prashant Kishor's campaign fizzled out? At 8:30 tonight, interesting twist in the story of Selena Jaitly, who's fighting for a missing brother, seeking judicial intervention. And at 9 o'clock tonight, the spotlight is on Anil Ambani, with reports of assets under a massive freeze. I bring you papers which prove that Anil Ambani knew everything that he claims he didn't. And time to tell the truth about what's going on in Bihar. Ladies and gentlemen, no party has done anything really constructive for Bihar at a broad level. For the last 30 years, it's been 3 decades since the Mandal Commission. And while generations have moved on, from school to struggle, Bihar stands as it is. Why am I saying so? Bihar's per capita income is still the lowest in India. The politics still functions on caste arithmetic and MY plus formulas. The criminal nexus has never ceased in Bihar. Bihar's crime rate remains alarmingly high, ladies and gentlemen, and it's getting worse over the last 10 years. So the BJP NDA can't say that it's made things any better. And cash and muscle power are dominating the electoral ground game. We talk about the Jungle Raj of the 1990s, but I asked tonight, did Jungle Raj ever really leave Bihar? No matter who was in power. Whether it's Shahabuddin or Anand Singh, Shahabuddin then or Anand Singh now, the story is the same. It's Gunda Raj, Jungle Raj, and nothing changes. Then comes the case of Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor said, I'm going to bring in change. But he, unfortunately, is embroiled in the same kind of politics. He does everything with a Mahatma Gandhi packaging. But what did he do in reality? He was recruiting mafia dons like Dular Chand, the same people who use threats and intimidation. So putting a face of Mahatma Gandhi does not change anything when he was using the mafia. Dular Chand, who was killed in Mokama, had over 2 dozen criminal cases against him, murder, extortion, and ransom. And Prashant Kishor recruited the man once known to be the kidnapping emperor of Bihar. What a shame, Prashant Kishor. Then comes to the question of politics of power and dynasty. Nothing changes as well. They're all relatives and relatives, RJD to JDU to BJP to LJP. Every party has Bahubali leaders and dynasts fighting the elections. Prashant Kishor might have been a master strategist or positioned himself as one, but elections are not won on whiteboards or on Facebook or Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is elections are fought on the ground. Bihar voters are extremely confused. They are disillusioned. Every party looks the same. It's the question of voting for the lesser evil. 3 major points I want to wrap up with. Nitish Kumar is still not the chief minister face. Don't believe any of the other parties. PK's factor as a factor seems to be evaporating. He seems to be a little bit of a social media sensation. And lastly, if there's any reason why the NDA is significantly ahead, it's because of the infighting in the Mahagathbandhan. They got it wrong, and that's what's hitting the Mahagathbandhan very hard. That's perhaps the only real reason why the NDA appears to be ahead as of now. That's my assessment. Things can change, but that's my assessment as of tonight.
मेरे कहने का मतलब कि राम मंदिर बनाना जरूरी है, बट क्या अस्पताल बनाना जरूरी नहीं है?
With less than 48 hours until Bihar goes to polls, temples are being reduced to punchlines, faith being mocked as a distraction.
भगवान दिल में होता है, श्रद्धा में होता है, मंदिर में सिर्फ एक मूर्ति होती है.
In poll-bound Bihar, the opposition is back with its selective outrage on faith. And this time, it is RJD's Khesari Lal Yadav.
मेरे कहने का मतलब कि राम मंदिर बनाना जरूरी है, बट क्या अस्पताल बनाना जरूरी नहीं है? हाँ? रोजी रोजगार जरूरी नहीं है, शिक्षा जरूरी नहीं है. रोजी रोजगार के लिए ट्रम्प को वोट करने जाएंगे हम. भगवान दिल में होता है, श्रद्धा में होता है, मंदिर में सिर्फ एक मूर्ति होती है.
His remark has triggered anger for reducing faith to a political talking point.
500 साल जिस मंदिर के लिए हिंदू लड़ते रहे, अपने जान की बाजी लगाए, कुर्बानी दिए, और कोर्ट के आदेश आने के बाद जब वहाँ भव्य राम मंदिर बना है तो आप बकवास करते हैं कि वहाँ मंदिर के जगह हॉस्पिटल बनना चाहिए। तो ऐसे आदमी को यदमुल्ला ही कहा जा सकता है, अब ये यादव नहीं हो सकता है।
As the battleground of Bihar heats up, the opposition's comments fit a familiar pattern. The indie bloc's bid to question faith whenever the nation is watching. But beyond the controversy, the real churn in Bihar may be political. Is the election polarizing into a two-way fight between BJP and RJD? Where are the other players, the smaller fronts and Prashant Kishor's once hyped Padyatra campaign? As the battleground intensifies, Prashant Kishor's visibility appears to have evaporated. His Jan Suraaj movement, once billed as a third alternative, now seems missing from public discourse. The narrative, it seems, is coalescing into a familiar duel: BJP versus RJD. With this, Bihar's electoral map could be narrowing fast. Question is, in what way is Bihar election swinging?
पहला सवाल सैयद लरैम अकरम से। सैयद लरैम अकरम is national spokesperson of the RJD with Rohan Gupta of the BJP, Sanjay Kumar of JDU, Kumar Saurabh Singh of Jan Suraj, Sunil Kumar of Vikashsheel Insan Party, and Akhil Swami is pro-Congress. Now, Kesari Lal of RJD has launched an attack on Ram Mandir. What is the need? केसरी लाल जो आपके पार्टी के कैंडिडेट हैं, वो राम मंदिर पर बहुत बड़ा अटैक उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया है। कह दिया है कि राम मंदिर की ज़रूरत क्या है, राम मंदिर को नहीं बनना चाहिए था, अस्पताल बनाना चाहिए था, अस्पताल चाहिए, राम मंदिर ज़रूरी है मगर अस्पताल ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, भगवान दिल में है, मंदिर में क्या है, सिर्फ मूर्ति है, फलाना ठिकाना। सो मुझे लगता है कि जब आपको पता है कि इलेक्शन आप हारने वाले हैं तो मुस्लिम वोट कंसोलिडेशन के लिए आपका लास्ट ये गैम्बिट है। दिस इज़ योर लास्ट अटेम्प्ट टू गेट द मुस्लिम वोट।
अर्नब जी
जी
सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। और आपने जैसे ये बात कहा, मुझे आवाज आ रही है?
जी आ रही है, बोलिए।
आपने जैसा कहा, मैं नहीं मानता हूं कि आपको थोड़ा सा दोबारा सोचना चाहिए आपके वक्तव्य कि मुसलमानों को कभी भी खुशी किसी भी तरह के ऐसी बातों से नहीं होती जो बात आपने कोट की है। बहरहाल इससे मुसलमान मोबिलाइज नहीं होता। बहरहाल जो उन्होंने बात कही, उन्होंने एक परिप्रेक्ष्य में कहा, एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कहा, और उन्होंने राम मंदिर का अपमान नहीं किया, किसी मंदिर का अपमान नहीं किया, किसी मस्जिद का अपमान नहीं किया, और ना ही किसी देवी देवता का
नहीं किया इन्होंने किया।
ओके मैं मेरी बात कर लूं, आप अपनी बात कर लीजिए।
नहीं, इन्होंने किया। मैं आपको ये कह रहा हूं कि आपने कहा कि भगवान दिल में होते हैं, मंदिर में सिर्फ मूर्ति होते हैं। इस बात की ज्ञान आपको वोटिंग से 2 दिन पहले मिली क्या?
नहीं वो
तो फिर क्यों बोल रहे हैं ऐसी बातें वोटिंग के 2 दिन पहले?
सवाल वैसे आ रहे हैं यहाँ आके बिहार के अंदर में कैसी बातें की जा रही है। मोहिद्दीन का नाम बदल के मोहन नगर रखेंगे, ये भी तो चुनाव के 2 ही दिन पहले आ रहा है। ये क्या है? ये कौन सी पॉलिटिक्स है जनाब? ये भी तो बात आप देखिए। और उन्होंने जो बात कही है वो ये बात नहीं कह रहे कि मंदिर नहीं बनना चाहिए। उन्होंने ये कहा है, कहने का लबोलाब ये है कि अस्पताल की जरूरत भी है, स्कूल की जरूरत भी है, कॉलेजेस भी बनने चाहिए। कौन सी बात गलत कह दी है? मुझे तो इसमें कोई गलत नहीं लग रहा है। और या कुछ और भी कही है जो हमने नहीं सुनी और
आप कुछ भी कह रहे हैं। चलिए मैं अभी I'll get a response from BJP on this because my sense is viewers, जब उनको पता चल जाता है कि इशूलेस इलेक्शन है, रेवड़ी सब दे रहे हैं, गैंगस्टर सबके हैं, माफिया सबका है, दबंग और बाहुबली सबके हैं, तो डिफरेंशिएटिंग यही हो सकता है कि हिंदू मुस्लिम। राइट रोहन, आप भी हिंदू कार्ड प्ले कर रहे हैं, वो भी मुस्लिम कार्ड प्ले कर रहे हैं। क्या ये कन्वीनियंट पॉलिटिक्स है रोहन?
हिंदी में कहावत है, मरता क्या ना करता, एंड यू आर एब्सोल्युटली बैंग ऑन, बिकॉज नाउ दे नो दैट दे आर गोइंग टू लूज इलेक्शन वेरी बैडली. तो जो इनका माय है मुस्लिम यादव, कैसे उसको अपीज करें? अदरवाइज व्हाई देयर इज अ रीजन टू क्वेश्चन टेंपल? यू कैन मेक योर पॉइंट फॉर हॉस्पिटल एंड स्कूल, एब्सोल्युटली नथिंग रॉन्ग ऑन दैट, बट व्हाई टू से दैट मंदिर में तो सिर्फ मूर्ति होती है? ये बोलने की जरूरत क्या है भैया? आप किसको खुश करना चाहते हैं? ये संयोग नहीं मानता हूं, ये प्रयोग है आपका, और ये प्रयोग बहुत पुराना हो चुका और हर बार विफल हो चुका. आप बुरी तरीके से बिहार में हार रहे हैं. जनता को आपका जंगल राज आज भी याद है, वो फिरौती वाला मामला आज भी याद है. अब हिंदू मुसलमान बंद करिए, अब कुछ होने वाला नहीं. अदरवाइज यू कैन मेक योर पॉइंट बट कैन नॉट क्वेश्चन सनातन ऑल द टाइम्स. सेम लालू प्रसाद यादव के कुंभ मेला तो फालतू है. व्हाई ही हैज टू से दैट? This is not the first time these so-called Indian parties, they are questioning Sanatana and Hindutva. And now there is a reason behind that. Otherwise, any logical party in India, they know that people are very sensitive on issues. Why will they question Sanatana? Because they feel that by doing that, उनका जो consolidation है, वो कहीं जो OIC से डर रहे हैं, उसको consolidate करने के लिए ये सब काम कर रहे हैं. हर रोज हो रहा है, हर दूसरे दिन हो रहा है. ये संयोग नहीं हो सकता है. So I think it is now their compulsion. और विनाश काले विपरीत बुद्धि.
But Rohan, your party and your alliance, you wanted to bring the focus on Jungle Raj. However, will you admit that after the arrest of your candidate Anand Singh, the notorious gangster, mafia don, extortionist, kidnapper, blackmailer, alleged murderer, Anand Singh, everyone on. After this, you can't speak about Jungle Raj anymore. Would you agree, Rohan?
Arnab, definitely. You know that I answer very candidly. Say there's a basic difference here. When you say Jungle Raj, it is about the conspiracy which is happening from the CM house. वहां से फिरौती ली जाती है. I am not talking about one individual. I am talking about the complete system where CM house decide के किसको उठाना है, किसको अंदर डालना है, किससे फिरौती लेनी है. This is not organized crime. I am absolutely not going against your point.
What? It is unorganized crime.
Any party.
It is not organized, then what crime is it? Why did you give this mafia don, this murderer? It's like giving Ashok Chavan a ticket and talking about corruption.
No, see, there is a basic difference now. When you talk about individual, I completely agree. The Bihar politics, the way it is, we have to accept the fact it is not completely out of the...
We don't have to accept anything. We want the country's politics to change. That was the expectation from you. And on that note, I would like to go across to the very excitable Kumar Saurabh Singh. Kumar Saurabh Singh started by saying that Mahatma Gandhi is our face, Mahatma Gandhi is our emblem, Mahatma Gandhi के चेहरे पे चुनाव लड़ी जाएगी, हम सब गांधीवादी हैं. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why Prashant Kishor was quiet when his man was killed in Mokama? He was hiding. You know why he was hiding? Because the person who was killed was a mafia don being promoted by Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor's campaign in Mokama in Bihar was being led by a notorious gangster mafia don, the king of Firoti, the emperor of kidnapping, and the godfather of extortion. These are the kind of people being encouraged by the Jan Suraaj party, which claims one thing and does another. How unfortunate. Now this man lying dead, Dular Chand Yadav, was he a Gandhian, Saurabh? Was he a Gandhian? Did he believe in Gandhian principles? If so, please explain.
आपको लगता है अर्नब जी, मैं जानबूझकर हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं ताकि बिहार के लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा सुने. आज ऐसा है, आपको लगता है कि अनंत सिंह गांधीयन थे? ये सही कहा रोहन गुप्ता जी ने कि 15 वर्ष इस राज्य ने सीएम हाउस से फिरौती वसूलते हुए देखा है, और अब यहां जो है, जो कुछ हो रहा है, ये महाजंगल राज, इसमें सीधे एचएमओ और पीएमओ से लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं. और मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूं? पहली बार बिहार ने देखा, देश के किसी भी हिस्से में, मैं चुनौती दे रहा हूं कि अगर कोई बता दे कि विपक्ष के प्रत्याशियों को स्वयं देश के गृह मंत्री और शिक्षा मंत्री मैनेज करते हुए अपनी फोटो वायरल करे. और अब उसी पीएमओ के एक मंत्री ललन सिंह, जिसको चुनाव आयोग ने कल गिरफ्तार कर लिया, आज उसके लिए चुनाव प्रचार ही नहीं कर रहे. मोकामा में जाकर आम लोगों को धमका रहे हैं कि घर से निकलने मत देना, अपना वोट देने के बाद उसको कहीं जाने मत देना। ये कौन कर रहा है? ये केंद्र में मंत्री हैं आदरणीय ललन सिंह। ये कैसे चुनाव प्रचार करने चले गए? एक ऐसे व्यक्ति का जिसका जो मुख्य आरोपी है वहां के हत्या के चीज में दुलार चंद यादव। दूसरा जो अपोजिट साइड में है वो कौन है?
यादव माफिया डॉन था। आर यू आंसरेबल फॉर योर ओन पीपल? Are you answerable? Why are you trying to escape a very important question? Are you answerable? The people are asking you because you raised the expectations. Allow me for a moment. You see, you 1 minute. Let me ask you again. I'll give you another chance. You raised the expectations among people. You said we'll bring a new kind of politics in Bihar. However, the nation wants to know whether this mafia don, who you brought into politics, Sanjay, please note every word of mine. This mafia don who you brought into politics, the emperor of extortion, the godfather of kidnapping, and one of the most notorious murderers who you made a campaigner. I just want to know, Sanjay, is he a new wave of politics?
No.
Dirty
Allow me to
politics of the
respond.
past?
Again,
Is this the same dirty politics of the past? Repackaged a little bit, repackaged, that's all. Repackaging doesn't change things.
Yadav was not a part of Jan Suraaj first.
Dular Chand was campaigning for Jan Suraaj.
He was not.
Sanjay, he distances himself. Sanjay, louder. I can't hear you. You muted yourself, Sanjay. Unmute yourself. You muted yourself, Sanjay. The producers must tell you to unmute. I can't hear him. You got to unmute. Sanjay, you got to unmute.
No.
Someone tell him to unmute.
एक व्यक्ति जो पढ़कर आया
Someone
है,
tell him to
क्या ये
unmute.
संत अनंत और महात्मा सूरज भान के सामने
Your candidate acknowledged on camera that Dular Chand was sitting with him in the car. Then how can you disacknowledge? How can you not acknowledge that he was not part of the campaign?
Make it louder. I'll respond. Don't worry. अरे बाबा, we also.
नहीं, आपके कैंडिडेट ने एक्नॉलेज किया है। आपके कैंडिडेट, आप इसको मानने में शर्माते क्यों हैं? 44% कैंडिडेट्स का एडीआर ने रिपोर्ट किया है कि आपके कैंडिडेट्स के ऊपर क्रिमिनल चार्जेस है 44%। हाउ डू यू ब्रिंगिंग
केंद्रीय मंत्री लड़ रहे हैं, जवाबदेही नहीं है, आप आंसरेबल नहीं है, आप बिहार के लोगों के सामने आंसरेबल नहीं है कि ललन सिंह कैसे उस हत्या के आरोपी का चुनाव लड़ गए और वहां जाके धमका रहे हैं। आंसर दीजिए पहले इसका। आपके केंद्रीय मंत्री ने ऑन रिकॉर्ड कहा कि अब अनंत सिंह का चुनाव मेरी जिम्मेदारी है। पहले बताइए कि कैसे एक हत्या के मुख्य अभियुक्त और ये प्रशासन ने नहीं, चुनाव आयोग ने उनको कहा, कैसे केंद्रीय मंत्री अनंत सिंह का चुनाव मोकामा में लड़ रहे? संजय जी,
was he Nelson Mandela? Was he what? Like he was a very sad.
अनंत सिंह was हरिश्चंद्र what?
प्रशांत किशोर,
जिसके लिए ललन जी चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं।
कह दिया क्या वो सत्य है?
केंद्रीय मंत्री ललन जी क्यों लड़ रहे हैं?
जो बोल देंगे, अरे अब तो आपकी हवाई चली गई है। अब तो हवा बस दो रुख की है, एनडीए और इंडिया की।
समझ रहे हैं आपका
महागठबंधन की। आप तो कहीं है ही नहीं,
जवाब नहीं देना है, पता है हमको, पता है आपको जवाब नहीं देना है।
जिस तरीके से आपने सोचा था और आपके जो मुझे तो ये लग रहा है कि अब आप प्रशांत किशोर को तैयारी करवाओ कि
अर्नब गोस्वामी जी यहाँ पर आपको इंटरप्ट नहीं करेंगे, इसलिए मैं फिर से
छोड़ना पड़ेगा। He had predicted कि जेडीयू को 25 सीट से ज्यादा आएगा तो मैं पॉलिटिक्स छोड़ दूंगा। आप उनको तैयारी कराओ बैकअप करने की।
प्रधानमंत्री ऑफिस को रिपोर्ट करने वाले
वो जो संत बनते हैं, उन्होंने क्या किया 3 साल में? प्रशांत किशोर ने क्या किया 3 साल में? क्या किया 3 साल में? झूठ बोलने के अलावा क्या किया? पीके यूथ क्लब, बिग फ्रॉड, पीके कैरम बोर्ड क्लब, बिग फ्रॉड,
उनकी पत्नी और भाई किस पार्टी से सांसद थे?
सारे युवाओं को चीट किया उन्होंने।
एक बार बता दो, अगर मेरी आवाज जा रही है तो बिहार सुन रहा है, पहले बताओ कि
मेरी भी आवाज जा रही है, आप चिंता मत करो। ऐसे भी लड़ाई अब 2 फैक्शन में है। पीके इज नो वेयर।
Okay, let me ask you, Sunil, I'd like to bring in Sunil and Akhil, everyone on this debate. Is this becoming, let me get everyone's views, short views on this. Dr. Sunil Kumar, is this becoming a two-way election?
But sir, you have not taken answer of my
I'm just
question.
coming to you on that as well. Yeah. Sunil.
Sir, my small request.
Saurabh, I'm coming
My
to you.
small
Sunil,
request. Please.
I just need to get a quick response from Sunil.
Sure.
Louder,
Please go
Sunil.
ahead.
Louder.
Please go ahead.
Audio, man. Audio.
Arnab, I mean, look at the audacity of the Rohit, the BJP spokesperson. He's trying to differentiate between that Jungle Raj and this Jungle Raj. And he's talking about CM office not being involved. Are Anand Singh was taken out of jail because of interference of CM office. So there's no difference. Don't defend it. And the way it's a two-way fight. Every party. My party, in fact, the Mahagathbandhan is on a receiving end. We have seen in Bokama the way one person was lynched by the candidate himself. And now he's taken to jail, but one cabinet minister has come out on roads, taken the charge of campaign and addressing the Mokama people that all of us should feel that I am Anand Singh.
That is a political fight that he has taken.
Sanjay.
Is Anand Singh.
That he is member of parliament of the same constituency, and that is why he is there to support him politically. And when he is a candidate, while we totally don't support any crime, if that has happened under Anand Singh, there is that is his political right to go there and campaign. Don't count him as a minister. He is the MP of that party. He is the MP of that area.
Anyway, analyzing the situation right now, I think Bihar voters are very confused right now. Because as far as this election is concerned, there's not much to choose from. Unfortunately, Rohan, for you, nothing changed. You're bringing in the Hindu-Muslim angle towards the end, both you and the RJD, but fundamentally nothing changed. Even as far as the subsidies are concerned, the freebies are concerned, both sides are offering the same thing. Both sides have mafia dons. There's absolutely nothing to distinguish anyone. I think the voter will be very confused, and unfortunately in this situation, I think, Akhil, they're going to vote on caste lines once again. Akhil.
देखिए मुश्किल ये है आज के मास मीडिया और ये मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया के साथ, ये जब भूमिहार लोग गुंडागर्दी करते हैं, जो सवर्ण गुंडागर्दी करते हैं, जो ललन सिंह और ये अनंत सिंह कर रहे हैं, तो उनको माफिया डॉन नहीं कहते, और जहां ओबीसी या दलित ने कुछ कर दिया उसको माफिया डॉन बताते हैं। जो यादव जी जिनकी आप बात कर रहे हैं वो यादव महासभा के अध्यक्ष थे और इसलिए मारा गया जबकि वो समर्थन कर रहे थे। अगर आप भारतीय जनता पार्टी का समर्थन करते हैं और गलत काम करते हैं, जैसे अनिल अंबानी साहब 9 बजे आप जिसका कार्यक्रम करने वाले हैं उनको आप अरेस्ट करने की बात कर रहे हैं, उन्हीं अनिल अंबानी साहब को मोदी जी ने राफेल का एसोसिएट बनाया था, हिंदुस्तान एयरोनॉटिक्स को नहीं बनाया था। तो देखिए जिस प्रकार की गुंडागर्दी, और प्रशांत किशोर को इसलिए डाउन प्ले कर रहे हैं ये लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले, इन्होंने प्रशांत किशोर को खड़ा किया था महागठबंधन का वोट काटने के लिए, और प्रशांत किशोर वोट काटने लगे भारतीय जनता पार्टी का, इसलिए डर गए हैं। जहां उनके 25% वोट सारे सेफोलॉजिस्ट बता रहे थे, आज कहना प्रशांत किशोर फाइट में नहीं है क्योंकि वो सवर्णों के वोट काट रहे हैं, वो ठाकुर और ब्राह्मणों के वोट काट रहे हैं। तो वास्तविकता में आप लोग जो ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले हैं,
the description, Akhil, I heard you. Akhil, I heard you. Jan Suraaj is responding to the charge that the Jan Suraaj party is a vodka to our party. Saurabh.
Yeah. Yes. First of all, I have a strong objection of this gentleman. See, Lalan Singh could be a Bhumihar, but you cannot mark the entire caste and give this kind of statement. First of all, Congress spokesperson or Congress supporter who's speaking here should correct this. You cannot, name a caste and use a derogatory word like that first. Second, Are Baba, we have said that we are the vote Katwa party, but we will cut the vote in such a manner that both NDA and so-called Mahagathbandhan will
RJD, Jan Suraaj and BJP. RJD.
Take my word.
Louder.
We will cut the vote in such a manner कि ये दोनों कट के साफ हो जाएंगे। काहे घबरा, काहे कहां पर है हो भैया?
रोहन,
छह सभाएं राहुल गांधी, 3 सभाएं प्रियंका गांधी, 1 सभा खड़गे जी, 243 सीटों पर पकड़ रहे हैं आप मछली, बना रहे हैं आप इमरती, अब पी रहे हैं आप कोलंबिया का कॉफी, अब बिहार का आपको चुनाव जीतना है, हलवा है। आइए 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 आइए, जमीन पर आइए, पहले इमरती सीख लिए, मछली पकड़ना सीख लिए, कोलंबिया का कॉफी पी लिए, अब आए हैं 6 सभा, राहुल गांधी का 6 सभा, प्रियंका गांधी जी का 3 सभा, खड़गे जी का 1 सभा, 243 सीट। इनको ये भी नहीं पता होगा उत्तर बिहार किधर, दक्षिण बिहार किधर। ये कांग्रेसी आरजेडी के पिछलग्गू ये बताएंगे जनसुराज को, जो 243 सीट पर लड़ रहा है बिहार में। लुक एट द फूल्स पैराडाइज, दिस इज व्हाट यू कॉल। इनको हंसी भी नहीं आ रही है, हमको हंसी भी नहीं आ रही है, हमको भाई इन पे तरस आ रहा है।
ब्राह्मण ठाकुरों की पार्टी, एंटी ओबीसी पार्टी ब्राह्मण। अरे पंडित प्रशांत किशोर से कहिए ब्राह्मणवाद नहीं चलेगा बिहार में। आपके पास सामाजिक न्याय होगा, सामाजिक न्याय होगा।
अरे बिहार में आपको पता है मिथिलांचल किधर है,
भगवान कृष्ण की संतान बनेगा चीफ मिनिस्टर।
आपको पता है
अब ये ब्राह्मणवाद नहीं चलेगा प्रशांत किशोर पांडे का,
सर जी। अरे
और ये ठाकुरवाद नहीं चलेगा आपका।
करके ये बाल सफेद करके सवर्ण 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 कर रहे हैं। आपको पता है बिहार का चौहद्दी किधर है? चौहद्दी पता है बिहार का? 243 सीट अभी पूछ देंगे। नौठो प्रमंडल कौन सा है तो नहीं बता पाइएगा। पूछे नौठो प्रमंडल कौन सा है बिहार में?
अरे राघव से क्यों भाग गए प्रशांत किशोर? अरे राघव से क्यों भगा गए? अरे भगौड़ा प्रशांत किशोर राघव पर से क्यों नहीं चुना?
वॉल्यूम बढ़ा रहा है, काट हियर ईदर यार।
आइए जरा तेजस्वी यादव,
सौरभ लाउडर यार।
अच्छा, 9 प्रमंडल कौन सा है बिहार में बताओ पहले। मछली बनाना सीखे, कोलंबिया का कॉफी पी लिए। आप ज्ञान दीजिएगा प्रशांत किशोर और जनसुराज को, आप ज्ञान दीजिएगा।
206 विंडोज यूट्यूब नंबर्स
फास्टर नहीं है, किसी की नहीं हुई है, और हम लड़ रहे हैं और 14 तारीख को साबित हो जाएगा।
Can you make the windows and I don't know why I'm getting a feeling. I don't know why I'm getting a feeling. I'm getting a feeling. Thank you. I'm getting a feeling tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 6 windows, YouTube numbers. Remove the visuals on the right. Can you put the 6 windows vertically aligned to each other? Producers, do your job. Now the question is, Saurabh, I don't know why I'm having a feeling. And the audio and the vision, can you increase the audio for the guests in the studio, please? In the studio. I don't know why I'm having a feeling, Rohan and Sanjay, that in the last 3 weeks, ये पिछले 3 हफ्तों में ये सारे जनसुराज के जितने स्पोक्सपर्सन्स हैं,
ये भगौड़े हैं भाई,
इनकी पर्सनालिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो गई है। 3 हफ्ते पहले इंटेलेक्चुअल थे, 2 हफ्ते पहले ये डिफेंसिव थे, 1 हफ्ते पहले ये कंफ्यूज्ड है, और आज ये सुपर एग्रेसिव हो गए हैं। मुझे लग रहा है समवेयर दे आर नॉट श्योर,
इसलिए कि सारे सुपारी
आई डोंट नो व्हाई
एक्टिव हो गए हैं।
आई डोंट नो व्हाई
सारे सुपारी एक्टिव हो गए हैं।
थैंक यू।
देखिए, ओपिनियन पोल नहीं है, ओपिनियन पोल नहीं है। मैंने बड़े साफ तौर पर अभी
रोहन इज ऑन द डिबेट।
अरे ये राघव
अर्नब क्या कॉमन में बता रहा हूँ, ये यहाँ पे आके जो भाषा में बात कर रहे हैं वो महागठबंधन की लाइन में ही चल रहे हैं, लेकिन उनको भी मालूम है वो हार रहे हैं और ये भी हार रहे हैं।
ऑडियो फोकस ऑन द शो दैट्स गोइंग ऑन राइट नाउ। रोहन,
युद्ध चालू होने से पहले ही भाग गए, युद्ध होने से पहले ही भाग गए, चुनाव का फॉर्म नहीं भरा। क्या बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहे थे बिहार में जाके? आपने किन लोगों को टिकट दिया? जनता आप पे भरोसा करेगी?
गुप्ता जी, बिहार के बारे में क्या पता है आपको? अरे रोहन गुप्ता जी, बिहार के बारे में क्या पता है आपको? मुझे रोहन गुप्ता जी, बिहार के बारे में क्या पता है आपको? चलिए आप ही 9 प्रमंडल का नाम बता दीजिए। बिहार के 9 प्रमंडल का नाम बताइए तो रोहन गुप्ता जी, यहीं पे ऑन एयर बताइए तो बिहार के 9 प्रमंडल कौन से हैं? रोहन के स्टूडियो में
आपका गुब्बारा फुस हो गया। चुनाव चालू होने से पहले आपका नेता भाग गया, रण से भाग गया। चुनाव का फॉर्म क्यों नहीं भरा? क्यों कोई नॉमिनेशन में नहीं है? क्यों ये बुटलेगरों को टिकट दिया? ये हकीकत है कि आपका बुलबुला
I know when to cut. Don't guide me.
महागठबंधन के रास्ते चल चुके।
महागठबंधन जो है वो यहाँ खरीद रहे प्रत्याशियों को। हमने कुछ बोला? हमने कभी बोला? हम रोने के लिए नहीं आए, आपसे लड़ने के लिए आए। हाँ, तो डेरिवेटरी वर्ड यूज करोगे।
आपका नेता रण से भाग चुका है, आपके नेता है ही नहीं, आपके चुनाव ही नहीं लड़ पाए, आपको एक सीट नहीं मिल पाया और बिहार की बातें कर रहे हैं। योर लीडर कुड नॉट फाइंड अ सिंगल सेफ सीट टू फाइट द
चुनाव
He was not present at the time of nomination. He gave ticket to bootleggers. What kind of
जन सुराज को नहीं
Syed Lareeb Akram, Syed Lareeb Akram, Syed Lareeb Akram, are you, what is your view on the Prashant Kishor right now and the Jan Suraj in this election so far? Syed Lareeb Akram.
प्रशांत किशोर
थोड़ा शांति हो जाए तो मैं कहूँ, पहले इन लोग कह ले दिल भर के।
अच्छा आप बैठो, आराम से बैठिए। अंकल आप प्लीज बैठो, आपको नहीं पता बिहार के बारे में, शांति से बैठिए।
अर्नब जी, मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था,
प्रशांत किशोर सेठ
बिहार में कोई जगह नहीं
पार्टी ने डिसाइड
The
किया
Jan Suraj spokespersons are now uncontrollable.
ran away.
Sanjay,
They lost the ground. भग लिए प्रशांत किशोर, भग लिए राघोपुर से।
आप देखो
जन सुराज
इनको गाड़ी से गायब कर दिए।
कैसे भग लिए? प्रशांत किशोर भग लिए, उसके बाद सारा जो है खेल,
नीतीश
सारा
कुमार
खेल खत्म हो गया।
Syed Lareeb,
राघोपुर में पहले ड्रामा किया। You know, he is a master in creating.
can he still surprise? One minute. Syed Lareeb Akram, can Prashant still be a surprise factor at the last minute? क्या surprise कर सकते हैं? अकरम जी
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर सकते। मैं अर्नब एक बात आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूँ, बहुत देर से बातचीत हो रही थी।
Syed Lareeb Akram, संजय डाउ,
आप लोग दोनों, रोहन गुप्ता संजय जी पसीना पोछिए, पहले पसीना पोछ लीजिए पसीना।
किसको
अरे बच्चे हो सौरभ,
आपके चश्मे में कलर है, आपके चश्मे में पानी है भैया, चश्मे साफ करिए।
समझ रहे हैं?
नहीं कर लीजिए।
अच्छा, seriously, Mr. Akram, do you feel, Mr. Akram, नहीं, that's not, let's go to continue. You answer my question. Today Saurabh is in an excitable state of mind. ये कॉफी पी के आए हैं, ये कोलंबियन कॉफी पी के आए मेरे प्रोग्राम पे, ये कोलंबियन कॉफी पी के आए मेरे प्रोग्राम पे।
10 सेकंड आनंद जी, 10 सेकंड।
They are so excitable. They were not like this earlier. Have you noticed this, viewers? The Jan Suraj party used to be a calm party. Somewhere in the last 2 weeks, something has gone wrong. They started very well. Mr. Akram.
मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ, थोड़ा सा सुनिए, संजीदगी से हम क्वेश्चन करने टाइम निकाल कर बैठे हैं, यहाँ कोई इतना ज्यादा मत करिए। मैं एक दो बात अर्नब जी आपसे बोलना चाहूंगा कि अभी डीएम पटना ने ट्वीट किया, एक पर लिखा कि एफआईआर दर्ज हुई है ललन सिंह के खिलाफ में, जबकि वो एफआईआर पूरी तरह से जो मुकदमा दर्ज होना चाहिए था बीएनएस या आईपीसी के तहत होना चाहिए था, उन्होंने भी सीआरपीसी और आरपी एक्ट के तहत किया है, जो बिल्कुल से बोगस है, बकवास है, जो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है। ये क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी का मामला है, थ्रेटन कर रहे हैं और वो कह रहे हैं ये बात आकर के मीडिया में कि सबको अनंत सिंह बनना है, सबको बन के चुनाव लड़ना है और इलेक्शन का वायलेशन कर रहे हैं। डेमोक्रेसी में इस तरह की चीज नहीं होती है। वो संविधान का शपथ लिए
हुए का प्रचार करने जा रहे हैं, वो वायलेशन नहीं है।
अब मैं बोलूं या मैं आपकी तरह झगड़ूं? आपसे ज्यादा चिल्ला सकता हूं संजय भैया, आप कैसी बात कर रहे हैं? हम चिल्लाए,
पूरा रैली निकाला लालू जी ने।
मैं बोल लूं,
वायलेशन नहीं है।
मैं बोलूं, कितना दिल जीतेंगे आप ललन सिंह का, कितनी वफादारी करेंगे कि लोकतंत्र के वैल्यू सिस्टम को भूल जाएंगे आप? जरा सा तो थोड़ी तो मर्यादा रखिए, थोड़ी मर्यादा रखिए जनाब, बात सुन लिया जाए, ठीक है? और अर्नब, आपने जैसे जनसुराज के बारे में पूछा, मुझे इस बात से बहुत तकलीफ हुई कि जिस तरह से साथी जनसुराज के प्रवक्ता ने डिसोन कर दिया है अपने समर्थक को। लोकतंत्र में हर कोई मेंबरशिप लेकर नहीं बैठता है कि हमारा मेंबर नहीं था या हमारे सदस्य नहीं है। चाहे भाजपा में ऐसे हजारों लोग होंगे, जदयू के हजारों लाखों लोग हैं, राष्ट्रीय जनता दल के, कांग्रेस के, सभी पार्टियों के होते हैं, लेकिन इस तरह से डिसोन करना ये बहुत ओछापना है, ये बहुत जनसुराज को के हित का और किसी भी पॉलिटिकल
लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, इट्स वेरी 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 वेरी, देखिए मैं एक बात कहूंगा, इट इज लुकिंग लाइक अ टू वे इलेक्शन टू मी। नीतीश इज नॉट रियली द फेस ऑफ द अलायंस. PK is slipping, but your alliance has got its internal issues so badly wrong. That seems to be your weak point as well, Mr. Lareeb.
No, there is nothing internal issues.
There are internal issues, major internal issues. Tejasvi, Rahul did not meet Tejasvi and Lalu for 3 days in Delhi. There is a big internal issue, but I'll take it up next time. I thank you very much. And my next guest, shall I please have her on air on the program tonight, is someone who comes tonight on my program not as an actor, but as the sister of Major retired Vikrant Kumar Jaitly. Selena Jaitly, if I can take her on air for a minute, please. Actress Selena Jaitly, who comes on my program tonight, comes as the sister of Major retired Vikram Kumar Jaitly, who has been missing since September 2024. This case has come to the attention when it went to court. Ladies and gentlemen, she's fighting a legal battle. She comes on air with her advocate, Raghav Kakkar. Before we talk to them, this is what the backdrop of the case of Major Vikrant Kumar Jaitly is all about.
Major Vikrant Kumar Jaitly, retired, a veteran of the Indian Army, Infantry, 3 Para, Special Forces, seen in these pictures while serving in the armed forces with his fellow officers, his family, and in this picture with his sister Selena Jaitly, who's now leading the fight to find out what happened to her brother in the UAE. On Instagram, Selena Jaitly dropped this post titled "Standing for a Soldier," a ray of hope from the Delhi High Court in the case of Major Vikrant Kumar Jaitly. In her post, she said she was finally seeing hope after a 14-month-long battle for her brother, Major Vikrant Kumar Jaitly, who she describes has been a victim of an enforced disappearance for 9 months, followed by detainment. She adds in the post, "You fought for us, bhai. Now it's time for us to stand behind you."
एक साल से it's been a nightmare for me. That's all I will say. I'm very grateful for today's judgment. And as India is rising and becoming bigger and bigger in the international diaspora, our soldiers are becoming targets overseas over and over again. And I think today's judgment will really help in bringing him back. And I'm very grateful to Raghav and the entire team here.
Selena Jaitly's advocate says the government has been asked to file a special status report on the steps being taken and why the family has been kept in the dark on the detention.
Considering he was, of course, our major general from our army, a special forces officer, and I think the government is going to. In notice issued, status report, everything. They have to file a status report directing the steps they're going to start taking. We had no idea. That is why we filed this petition. We have been kept in the dark as to why he was detained. He was detained he was first abducted and then detained in Dubai. We have been trying to follow up for the last 14 months. Today, thankfully, Justice Datta has passed a great order, and we are very thankful for the government's cooperation, so they did not object.
Why was Major Vikrant Kumar Jaitly detained in the United Arab Emirates? His sister Selena Jaitly joins Arnab on the debate tonight.
Selena, can you begin by first telling us this evening, your brother has been detained for 14 months now. What has he been detained for?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I wish I knew the answer to that, and that is why I'm here to have these answers, that what is going on, what is he detained for. Nobody has answers at the moment, and I approached the High Court so that I could get some clarity on the matter, because last 14 months have been, as a sister, we've lost our parents. It's just the two of us left in this world for each other. And having said that, not knowing where my brother is, if he's alive, in the first 8 months, I had no idea where he was. And these are the questions I've been asking. There have been so many questions and not enough answers.
So why do we use the word detention if you have no word on who has detained him? Has there been any word from the government? Do you know if the security agencies have detained him in the UAE? Has there been any communication with him?
Sir, he was abducted for the first 8 months, and after that we were informed, thanks to the Madad portal, where I filed a grievance, that he has been remitted, if that's the right word, to a detention center after being missing for 8 months. I think Raghav will be better to answer that, sir. I am sub judice. There's not much that I can say. This is all that I can say. But Raghav, please go ahead and answer, sir.
Thank you, for having me on the show. Actually, the word abduction is very important because when he was picked up from the Mall of Emirates, there was not an official police car or any enforcement that picked him up. That's the report that we got from his wife. And it was only after 4 months we realized that then he's in the detention center at Abu Dhabi. So it's actually first an abduction, and now we know he's officially with the authorities, but they've completely sort of kept us in the dark as to what's happening to him, what the case number is, and why he's been detained.
Is there a legal process going on in the UAE?
There is. So we filed a writ petition. There is no legal process going on in the UAE. We tried to initiate a legal process. For that, we first needed the case number. They did not even provide that. Therefore, we were constrained to now initiate in Delhi. And then Justice Datta gave us the relief we sought for, luckily, with cooperation.
But if you know he has been detained, you would know, Raghav, what crime he has been detained for.
So in Dubai, we would not know, because unlike here where we can pull out a history of a case just knowing the case number or through or online, in Dubai that is not publicly available information. So you first need an officer to officially tell us and provide us with the papers. And that's what we had tried to obtain for the last 8 months. We could give him effective legal representation there, as I have my firm there as well. Since we could not obtain that, we were constrained to then at least now get the MEA to activate its channels and diplomatically and through the embassies give him representation and also provide us details as to his well-being, and more than that, also help him finally talk to his sister, which has not been able to talk to him.
When did you speak to him, Selena? When did you speak to your brother last?
Sir, I last spoke to him in 2024 Rakhi, and that was around the 19th of August, and Bhai used to travel a lot, so, and I was living in Austria, as you know. I was married there, and he was in Dubai, and I was trying to get in touch with my brother on and off, but I thought shayad travel kar raha hoga. Since 19th August there was no response, and I'm a mom of 3 kids. I have twins plus 1, so I was like, theek hai, maybe he's traveling or something, he'll get back. And then one fine day in the end of September, I received a phone call where I got to know that he has been abducted by unknown entities, and on the 6th of September 2024 outside the Mall of Emirates, and since then there is no other information.
Who told you that he had been abducted, and what details were you told about how he was abducted?
I was told by his wife, and sir, I think I will ask Raghav to give the details.
So this was an issue that was brought up, actually the only opposition that was brought up by the government in court, that we are in touch, I mean on and off in touch with his wife, and we have provided details. However, when we try to get in touch with the wife, she's not been responding, and then we get to know from another source, who's Vikrant's friend, who's also spoken to, that the facts that were given to us regarding his wife earlier, regarding the timeline, regarding his well-being were not correct. So in that state, then Selena decided, being his only surviving blood relative, decided to take this case in her own hands, and since then she's been fighting a lone battle.
Selena, this is a forum where a lot of people are watching this program. You know, this message will go across to everyone on digital streaming, social media, and on television.
Yes,
so I just want you to share everything that is in your mind in case you wish to make an appeal, in case you want to share any more details, in case you want to speak about your brother who has also been given in his service in the army a Chief of Army Staff commendation. You know, this case is not known to many people. This is your opportunity to share as much as you can, Selena.
Sir, I'd like to say that he is a patriot, he's a born patriot, he's a 4th generation armed forces officer. And even though he was inducted into MCTE, the Military College of Technical Engineering, he decided to change his arm and become a para-SF officer. That's how patriotic he is. My brother has injuries on his body from so many missions. He's broken in places that people would not know of and people would not see from all his missions that he's conducted in his time with the Para-SF. As a sister, this has been one of the darkest times of my life, the darkest 14 months, and I thought it would happen when my parents died and my son died, but this is at par, if not worse than that. I had a lot of questions. Why this has happened? Where is he? Where was he during the abduction? And now suddenly we have been informed that he is in a detainment center. I don't want answers. I want him back. I want him back in his country. I'm very worried about his mental health. He was abducted for 8 months. I don't know what was done to him. I don't know what they are investigating. They're investigating something, I guess. I have no answers, sir. I just have a detainee number, which was only we have come to know since he was moved to this detention center a few months ago. I can only appeal my government. My government is my only protector right now, and I wanted to bring this to the attention of our esteemed government. There is no one else I can turn to. I do not have the resources. I do not have the means. I do not have the answers. I do not have the way. I'm not Selena Jaitly right now. I'm just a soldier's sister. I'm his only surviving blood relative, and he is only surviving blood relative of mine from my parents' side. Having said that, I just want to appeal to our government to please bring him back. He has served our nation with great honor, and I know the government will stand by him. This was the only means available for me to bring this matter to the attention of our esteemed government, and I know that once this is in front of them, they will definitely help. I just appeal to our government to please, I believe in them, I respect them, I honor them. Please bring my soldier back to me. I'm very worried about him, and he is all I have.
I'm actually very surprised, Selena, you've not been able to speak to him. Even in the worst of circumstances, there is legal representation that is allowed, and relatives are allowed to speak. Even those on murder charges would be allowed to speak. No contact with family is absolutely unfair, and I totally stand with you on that. At least that will give you the assurance of how he is, and I would appeal to the government as an Indian citizen, an ex-army officer, whatever the reasons, this is not what anyone should be made to go through. Selena, can you still hear me? You can hear me, Selena? Raghav, can she hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
So,
yes,
I just want to ask one more question. Your brother was working with the Matiti group, I'm told, involved in trading, consultancy and risk management. Did you know of any dangerous work that he was doing?
Yes, sir.
Or any undercover work he was doing?
So, I just know that this company was formed, his wife was the CEO of the company, and they were working together, and this is all that I know of the company, the facts that you mentioned.
Do you know anything about what his professional work in the UAE was?
Sir, you mentioned certain points. That's all I'm aware of. Raghav,
you've Matiti. Broad spectrum, Matiti went to cyber security, and it just started foraying into AI. We don't have any other details.
Okay. So what happened, Raghav? I mean, when Selena is approaching the MEA, the embassy in Abu Dhabi, the consulate in Dubai, the foreign minister himself. Usually, I know one thing, Selena. Our government, the Modi government, is very proactive in helping Indians in distress abroad.
Absolutely.
We all know that. There have been so many examples of that. This seems to be an exception. So this seems to be many question marks on this particular case. Have you directly approached any political authorities?
I could just say one thing at least.
No, sir. I've been following the protocols which are required. I've filed the grievance with the Madad portal, and I tried to connect with authorities in UAE, and I did whatever was available to me because, as you know, I was based in Austria. And I was getting information from the Madad portal. It was not enough information, because when it comes to your own family, your own brother, you need more answers. Sometimes it's all templatized, sometimes it's limited, and whatever is offered to you is not enough when a loved one is missing and you don't have any answers. Where is he? Is he alive? Is he there? Who has taken him? Why are they? This is my question also, sir, exactly what you asked. Why are they detaining him? And I didn't have any answers. And after 1 year or 14 months of waiting, sir, I couldn't wait anymore. I just needed to approach some authority through which I could have
But Selena,
some
you know what
more
this is
answers.
looking like? It is looking like if it's an illegal abduction, then we need to know what the exact circumstances of those are, right? So if his wife contacted you, if his wife contacted you, that is your sister-in-law contacted you, may I ask you, who told your sister-in-law about him being picked up, like without a warrant?
Sir, what?
Who informed your sister-in-law?
He was picked up in front of her.
In front of her, how?
He was picked up in front of her. She was with him when he was.
How? By whom? How many people?
Would you be able to talk?
So they were shopping at the Emirates Mall, and when they went to get their car in the parking, there was a black van that pulled up with two people just wearing black suits.
No, local.
No, what, without the uniform.
Yeah, without the uniform.
And then they just asked him to get into the car and effectively pushed him into the car and drove off.
So that was picked up without a warrant, and then possibly put in a secret facility before being shown as arrested 8 months later. So for 8 months, 8 months in illegal detention.
Yes.
That is our...
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have covered so many cases.
And sir, I've only approached because 8 months is a long time.
Of course it is, Selena. See, whatever the reason may be, this is not right. And I think the government of India must listen to this sister speaking tonight. Because whatever he may be doing, if there's a disagreement, if whatever he may be doing, we can't speculate. He's a retired army officer. He served his country, and more than that, to the foreign ministry, I would say he is an Indian citizen. The family has a right to know where Major Vikrant Jaitly is and what he has been held for. Otherwise, we feel very vulnerable. Well, Selena, what we'll do is we'll stay in touch and we'll follow up. As a network, we'll follow up with the embassy, the consulate, the authorities, the foreign ministry, and let's see what more we can get to know about this. Thank you very much, Selena.
Thank you, sir.
And stay strong. Thank you, Selena Jaitly and Advocate Raghav.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an unusual case, if I may say so, and that would be an understatement. At the end of the day, Selena Jaitly's brother served in the 3-para special forces, has been an infantry officer. If he's just been picked up, are we going to stay mum and let it be? Well, I hope not. Once again, when I'm back, the growing chorus for Anil Ambani's arrest and why there are so many questions, I'm going to be bringing you some exclusive documents when we return.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Our Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और प्योर मसाला। दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
Using his business mind towards growing his business, Anil Ambani started using his mind to deceive institutions. This is institutional deception. State Bank of India, the account holders, saving holders should be the ones raising the questions. Your money was being used to siphon off money to China, to UK by Anil Ambani. He's still flying around in his private jet. I thought times has changed. Where's the accountability? Where is the rest of the corporate media? Where is the pink media of this country? The embarrassment. They're avoiding the biggest story. Why do others not have the guts to talk about Anil Ambani? And this is the question only Arnab Goswami and only Republic Network asked.
गुरु शिष्य का बाप बेटी की तरह ही एक रिलेशन डेवलप होता है, क्योंकि आप हार्श भी होते हैं क्योंकि बच्चा कंफर्ट जोन में रहना चाहता है और आपको पता है।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
I've covered so many scams, I've broken so many scams, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the scam of scams of Anil Ambani, and there are growing calls for his arrest. Why should a man who has done this allegedly not be arrested? There are some people who are asking, why should he be arrested? Ladies and gentlemen, why should he not be arrested? In a country where people are put in jail for stealing 500 rupees, why should Anil Ambani remain a free man? The Anil Ambani scam, a rotten scam. Ladies and gentlemen, a man whose companies were drowning in red flags, given such a long rope by the system. Was he not given a long rope by the system? Why should we blame Anil Ambani alone? Tonight, Republic will be laying bare the minutes of the lenders' meetings from way back in 2020, which totally expose Anil Ambani. But they also expose not just Anil Ambani, but the ecosystem around him, the rotten ecosystem, how warnings were ignored, audits were diluted, and accountability was deferred, all while thousands of crores of rupees were being siphoned off in plain sight. Who is responsible for this scam? Not just Anil Ambani, but also the forensic auditors who had already confirmed fund diversion, we know. The pattern was visible, the shell company is traceable, and yet not a single lender was declared a fraud. Instead, a panel of former judges and top legal officers conveniently opined that there was no wrongdoing which existed. The question is simple: was this negligence or deliberate protection for the powerful? Ladies and gentlemen, I have 8 questions tonight. 8 questions. 1. Why did the banks ignore the audit red flags? Forensic audit had clearly flagged fund diversion, circular transaction, and loans disbursed before sanction. Why did none of the lenders declare fraud? Despite acknowledging, quote, diversion of group companies was evident, unquote, in the minutes of the January 2020 meeting. As I am asking these questions, it is also very important for you to ask, should the so-called business newspapers of this country not be answerable to the people of India? What about the business journalists? Are they not embarrassed tonight? They were presenting Anil Ambani as some kind of a comeback man. Shame on them. Ladies and gentlemen, why were shell companies given crores in loans? How were companies with no employees, negative net worth, and common directors such as RPL Solar Power, Summit, Cheminfra, and WorldCom Solutions granted crores in corporate loans by Reliance Home Finance without due diligence or KYC verification? Where were the auditors and the raters? Fund diversion was going on, circular trading, intra-group transactions were going on. These were mounted between 2017 to 2019. What were the auditors and the rating agencies doing? Why was there no downgrade, adverse remark, or fund use, end use audit emerging until now? Viewers, there was a whole system around Anil Ambani. It's the stench of fraud and the misuse, ladies and gentlemen, of authority. Who protected Anil Ambani from a fraud tag? Despite forensic auditors confirming fund diversion and irregular lending patterns as early as 2020, Reliance Home Finance was not declared fraud for years. Which officials, institutions, or legal panels shielded Anil Ambani's group from that crucial tag, and why? How did public money land in China and the UK is another question I have asked. It was not just a violation of covenants, but this was a major red flag. Cross-border fund transfers were going on. The money was landing in China and the UK. I know there is a powerful circle of people who support Anil Ambani. To them, I would say tonight, think of what you have done. You are as responsible as this man yourself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not one who's going to spare any of these people tonight. Remember, viewers, there is the corporate media, and then there is Republic. The corporate media does not even ask questions to Air India after the crash. It's only Republic which will ask these questions. Viewers, why were loans disbursed before sanction date? Ask any banker if this can happen. In the minutes of the meeting in 2020, which I have, it was stated that the auditor reported instances where loans were disbursed by RHFURCFL prior to the sanction date. This was reported by the auditor. Difference between disbursement date and sanction date varied from 1 to 28 days. Why did the regulators stay silent for years? What are the regulators of this country worth? Nobody likes to ask these questions. Only Arnab will ask questions of the Supreme Court and the regulators. What were the regulators doing? Did the regulators not know of the malpractice, or was there a nudge, nudge, wink, wink? Finally, ladies and gentlemen, small farmers, middle class, loan app borrowers have been hounded to suicide for 12,000 rupee, 4 lakh rupee loans. This billionaire has an ecosystem of powerful regulators, bankers, raters, auditors, and politicians supporting him. It's the whole system which is rotten. And I'm saying so having been the same person who exposed people like him in many scams in 2010 to 2012. Leniency from the financial system, leniency from application of the rules of the financial system is also wrong, and the government must know the people are watching. The government of the day must know the people are watching. Justice must not just be seen to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be done. If there is an attempt at making it seem that the government is being tough on Anil Ambani, then I'm sorry, it's not working. If the government, the agencies believe Anil Ambani has done this, then the central government must tell us why they are not arresting Anil Ambani. The central government must tell the people of India why they are not arresting Anil Ambani. Would the central government behave the same way with everybody else? And if an exception is being made, why so? The nation wants to know. Let's debate.
Tonight, Republic has accessed explosive documents that blow the lid off the Anil Ambani loan scam. Minutes of lenders' meetings, forensic audit findings, and internal notes from all the way back in 2020. The documents reveal how, despite a forensic audit confirming fund diversions, banks refused to declare the accounts as fraud. Fresh loans were routed through shell companies and potentially indirectly linked entities, as the auditors called them. The forensic auditor identified circular transactions, loans to shell entities with no net worth, and even disbursements before sanction dates. Contact numbers were fake, financials missing, certificates absent, yet the money kept flowing. And now, years later, the Enforcement Directorate has moved in and attached over 42 properties worth Rs 7,500 crore across Mumbai, Delhi, Noida, Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh. The ED says these are proceeds of crime and loans were funneled through 35 banks, masked as legitimate and rerouted through a web of fake entities. Tonight, Republic asks, with forensic audits, fund diversions and now asset seizures, will Anil Ambani finally face arrest?
Now we have papers with us tonight. We come armed with papers which actually expose a lot of what's been going on inside. Shravan is sharing some details. I have the papers with me. I'm sorry to the respective banks whose papers I'm putting on. Bank of Baroda papers. Ladies and gentlemen, minutes of meeting. Signatures are all with us, ladies and gentlemen. All signatures. And we can verify these papers. Minutes of meetings, Bank of Baroda, lenders meeting held on 16 January 2020. We have the details, graphics will be on the screen. And as you tell us more about this scam of Anil Ambani, Shravan, you can try and explain it as many layman terms as possible. Producers will run the graphics. What are these minutes of these meetings? Which meeting? And how is this a smoking gun? Shravan.
Well, the broad argument that has been made by Anil Ambani is that he has no decision-making power to begin with, and the fact that he has not been part of the board for almost 3.5 years. Now, in this particular document number 1, which is the minutes of the meeting that took place on 16th of January, it becomes abundantly clear that he makes a presentation before the lenders. This was at a time when the company was actually going through what Anil Ambani himself said, a crisis that was perpetuated because of the IL&FS service, and that is the reason why they're saying that there was not much help that was being provided coming in from the financial community, as he points it across. Now, importantly, there are 7 legal opinions that were taken by Anil Ambani's companies, and he said that a forensic audit clearly shows that there was no embezzlement, but the reality is different. Document number 2 will basically prove the fact that there were diversion of funds. To simplify this, 2 companies, RHFL and the other company which was basically in the dock was there's two very companies where the money was being diverted from. In fact, RHFL being one such company where Anil Ambani himself has signed, that is the credit appraisal memorandum, in which Anil Ambani has clearly signed it off and the diversions have taken place. It seems that the money that came into it was basically diverted to companies with weak financials. And every loan that was essentially given, starting from 2017-2019, when we are looking at a first tranche of loans coming of roughly about 2,900 crore rupees, and thereafter further loans being taken from banks like Bank of Baroda and the State Bank of India, was basically being rerouted to pay off the old loans. So here comes the picture. The picture is this, that there was an attempt that was being made to funnel it into other companies, shell companies. These were Surat-based shell companies that was being used to send the money to Dubai. There's an international Hawala racket that has basically emerged, and this is what the Enforcement Directorate is saying. Enforcement Directorate in its investigation and in the provisional attachment order makes a clear mention of Hawala transactions that have actually taken place. This is something that Anil Ambani and the companies linked to Anil Ambani have completely failed to explain, because all this while they've said that Anil Ambani has no role to play.
Well, I mean, these papers tell a completely different story. Ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome my guest this evening, and I'm going to keep going back to these questions, I wish to go into the details of the papers that we have. We have minutes of a lenders meeting held on 16 January 2020, in which page 2 says GT, I presume Grant Thornton, informed that they had identified a list of companies designated as PILE, potentially indirectly linked entities, unquote, in their report, which featured in various transactions that were studied. GT reported instances where a PILE ceased to be a related party just before a disbursement was made to the PILE by RHFL/RCFL, which means it was very much there, it was verified, the auditors had put out a red flag. Now, I'm not naming, but let me say this, that a former Chief Justice of India was part of the group which says, no, this is okay, there was no fraud. A former Chief Justice of India, I'm not naming, said, no, it's okay, as per the minutes of the meeting, it was not fraud. A former Chief Justice of India. All this was happening secretly. 2020. I don't think Anil Ambani could have got away without support from the system. Who'd like to open the debate tonight? The Anil Ambani scam part 2. We have Santosh Mehrotra, Subrashta and Sriram Subramaniam on one side. Sriram is the founder and MD of InGovern Research Services. Kishor Subramaniam, financial analyst. Sushil Kedia, market expert, founder Kedianomics. Ved Jain of Ved Jain and Associates, former Vice President ASSOCHAM. And Dr. M. Satya Kumar, Supreme Court advocate. GT further reported anomalies observed during their audit. Anil Ambani himself admitted, my company is in a crisis. He said, at the start of the presentation, of which minutes only I have, Anil Ambani stated that the lenders were well aware of the challenges being faced by the financial sector post the IL&FS crisis. He stated that RHFL and RCFL were a victim of the circumstances and he had faced collateral damage. Poor Anil Ambani, this sounds like Vijay Mallya reborn. I am but a victim of my sector, he says. And on being labelled a fraud, the lenders deliberated amongst themselves that they need not take into account opinions presented by the Reliance Group and they can take an independent call on red flag and declaration of fraud. Mr. Deepak Mishra, former Chief Justice of India, Supreme Court, opined that under the RBI directions, it does not constitute fraud. Justice Khare, former Chief Justice, Supreme Court of India, opined that the forensic report does not suggest fraud and lenders should consider a resolution plan. Mr. Rajiv, former Chief Vigilance Commission, opined that no instances of fraud, diversion, malafide attempts to destroy evidence were found and banks may consider removing red flag status. So all the legal opinions were that it's okay, nothing wrong. And here we are, this is Republic. 5 years later, we're all screaming, saying, what happened? But all their eminences at that point of time said it's okay. Is the Modi government, Sushil, Kishor? This looks like a rerun, or this looks like a, this looks like a rerun of the Malia Nirav Modi episode, an old script with a new twist. A billionaire abuses his powers to open the chambers of our banking sector that remain shut for the common people, the Aam Aadmi, and crush small business owners and the middle class.
Yeah,
Protects Anil Ambani.
Let me start.
Yes, now I provoked you. Now I provoked you enough, have I?
Arnab,
Yeah.
at the very outset, let me say humbly, I disagree with the fire you are spewing. You are rephrasing the fire prevalent all around.
Graphics.
You are rephrasing the fire prevalent all around. You have definitely laid out a very balanced ground that everybody was involved, without which it could not have happened. So I am going to, as an opener, keep it brief. In Bangla, there is a saying, Ati Bhakti Chorer Nishan. So suddenly this jingoism about fraud ho gaya, fraud ho gaya, fraud ho gaya.
I've said fraud. I've said these people thought it was not fraud then. ED is saying it's fraud now. Who do we believe?
5 साल से सब लोग सो रहा था.
What is the...
और अभी suddenly चिल्ला रहा है.
Hello. Subrashta is opening the debate tonight on Anil Ambani. Should he be arrested? Yes.
Arnab, let us be very clear about this episode. This is not about business failure alone. Every businessman has the right to fail. This is about how one fails and at whose cost.
Everyone on.
That's the question that we...
Louder for both.
Let me kindly complete. If they are going to jingoism, public का पैसा है. भाई 50 लाख शेयर होल्डर रिलायंस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और रिलायंस पावर में भी है. 50,000 करोड़ का मार्केट कैप घट के 25,000 करोड़ हो गया. आपने 4,000 5,000 करोड़ की प्रॉपर्टी अटैच करी. 25,000 करोड़ का पब्लिक का नुकसान हो गया. कम से कम पब्लिक के नाम पे ड्रामा मत करो. If you are hiding something in your closet and you want to blame somebody by saying it's a fraud, you know, you by
no, I'll tell you one thing, and now listen to me, dear Sushil. You know this saying, too big to fail, Subrashta. I'll tell you why it applies here. Something very interesting happens because, you know, Republic is a very bad channel. We get the papers. We don't talk through our hat. In page number 8 of this report, Mr. Anil Ambani says, almost like a warning, he's saying, listen, you declare fraud, there's going to be a crisis in the capital markets of India. You declare fraud on me? He's basically saying, Shriram, and I'm going to quote it, you declare fraud on me, don't forget to think about what will happen to India's capital markets. You'll all have exposure. There'll be a systemic crisis. Anil Ambani warns of a systemic crisis if the system dares to act against him. Should I quote?
Not against him. Acting in the way the system is acting.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Sushil, let the others come.
If you start labeling,
one minute. Subrashta is completing now. Debate is opening.
Arnab, I heard the gentleman say, let us not talk about public money. Let us not talk about public. The problem is, sir, that in this country, public money is not abstract. It is pension of a school teacher, savings of a shopkeeper, hard-earned deposits of a taxi driver. This is the money that we are talking about. And you say, do not talk about that? When that money is lent to big corporate, it carries a certain degree of trust. It is the trust which says that the borrower will act responsibly, that the system will protect the saver. It is the trust that we are running an economy and it is not being run only for the powerful. This case that has emerged, it is basically going to erode all that trust. And let us be fair, the courts will decide guilt or innocence. Of course they will. Due process is again a right, it must be protected. But the principle at stake, Arnab, is much higher than any one industrialist. In that very same family, we have a story of two industrialists. I don't want to get into the details of what Mukesh Bhai is doing and what Anil Bhai is doing. The problem is that we are a nation where a small farmer fights for a 50,000 rupee loan. where a student has to break all kinds of EMIs that are running in the family to go for higher education. So when thousands of crores of public money is at stake, I don't think I will take any conversation from any panelist to say let us not talk about that.
Without
it has to be talked about. It has to be talked about with all.
It has to be talked about. Now, Anil Ambani.
For that one man.
Anil Ambani.
That it is about a system.
No.
It is about a system that is shielding you.
Yeah.
And questions must be asked. No promoter.
One minute. I wish to humbly ask a more difficult question tonight, which other channels will not ask. Sushil, with permission, please. I wish to ask, watch my words, Sushil. Mr. Deepak Mishra, former Chief Justice of India, who has headed the country's Supreme Court, must answer tonight to Republic and to the people of this Republic whether it is true that he put out a legal opinion that under RBI directions, the actions of Anil Ambani do not constitute fraud. I also wish to ask Justice Khare, Honorable former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India, who opined that the forensic report does not suggest fraud, and also went on to surprisingly say in favor of Anil Ambani that the lenders should consider the resolution plan. Which means you lost money, you're in a mess. Now, please don't mind, but I would most humbly ask their lordships, their former chief justices, that what domain expertise do they have? Financial sector. To say that the resolution plan is justifiable. These are tough questions. Nobody asked, how does a legal expert know the details of a financial resolution plan and its effectiveness? You see, Dr. Mehrotra, nobody asks these questions in our country. Nobody does. And they won't ask it. The public's money is going to go down the drain. But there are 7 experts who have been quoted here for their legal opinions. I would just ask whether any of them has been paid by Anil Ambani, and whether it is appropriate for them to accept any form of honorarium if they have from Anil Ambani. These are only questions, because upon their opinions a judgment is made. And Anil Ambani then goes and says, look here, I've got the support of all these powerful people. Dr. Mehrotra, I have the minutes. I'm not making it up. I can trust. Believe me, I have the minutes. I have the minutes with me. This is getting very serious, Mr. Mehrotra. It's a system which has been behind Anil Ambani, not him alone.
I think you put your finger on it, that it has been the system which has been behind Mr. Ambani. Because if the system had not been behind Mr. Ambani, there wouldn't be a situation where way back in 2015, when a deal was being struck by the government of India with Dassault in France to buy 36 aircraft, suddenly changing the nature of the contract, it was this same Mr. Ambani who was given an offset contract to provide parts. Was he in a position to do that at that point? This is the same Mr. Anil Ambani, who since then has been obviously charged with fraud by the Bank of India, by the State Bank of India, by the Bank of Baroda, by the IDBI Bank. So when you asked the right question earlier, Arnab, where was the regulator, which is the RBI? The RBI is the regulator of these public sector banks. Where was the regulator? So, I mean, who owns the regulator? You and I know who owns the regulator. You and I know who signed the contract with Mr. Macron on Rafale. So your questions are very legitimate ones. And the private sector is clearly implicated as well, because you asked who were the auditors? Where were the auditors? It was PwC until 2019, until they gave up on ADAG, because they found that there were too many irregularities which they can't explain. And then another auditor came along by the name apparently of a certain Mr. Pathak and Associates. So you're asking all the right questions. I think many of the answers are actually available the public domain. So you may want
to be arrested.
Ask,
should he be arrested now? I mean, we will never know the truth. We'll keep debating this. The government will use this, speak about it. Then things will move on. Bihar elections will be over. Everything over. Khel khatam. You know, the thing is, after all of this, it's going to be a damn big tragedy, Shriram. If Anil Ambani sends another official to be arrested and gets away and luxuriates in his bungalow,
if anything, I would think that the lessons from Vijay Mallya have not been learned.
Exactly.
There was a lookout notice for Mr. Vijay Mallya after he ran away. And this fraud or the diversion of funds happened in the period 2014 to 2020, which is much after Vijay Mallya's case. So there were many instances, lessons were not learned at banks, especially Yes Bank, which is one of the main conduits for the circular rotation of funds by Anil Ambani group companies, has to be faulted. Secondly, as you said, the judicial system and the investigative system has also been very slow. We are at the end of 2025, and the time frame dates back to 2020, if anything. SBI took its time to declare the account as fraud, took almost 3-4 years. It went to the courts, and as you say, the courts also have taken their time. Why are the lawyers, especially Chief Justice, ex-Chief Justices, etc., opining that these cases are not fraud, when the banks themselves have said that there was diversion of funds to group companies? So from that perspective, I think the lessons, the regulatory agencies need to act fast, need to arrest
Justice Khare and Deepak Mishra, Justice Deepak Mishra support Anil Ambani at that time. The nation wants to know. The nation must know. Ladies and gentlemen, as I come to Shravan, I now want to share something very shocking. What appears to me to be an attempt at blackmailing the whole system. Please listen carefully, viewers, and decide for yourself. Viewers, the question tonight can be put on a graphic around his face, circle it, and it can be put out there whether Anil Ambani should be arrested. Because remember, viewers, when you're with me, there is public pressure on the whole system, the government, the ecosystem, the circular ecosystem, the big shots. If you're not with me, remember, they'll get away. And remember, viewers, the only ones who exposed this kind of fraud in 2010 to 2012 was yours truly. And the only ones talking today is yours truly. We're not talking about the kind of garbage that Rahul Gandhi spoke about once again. So spend 1 hour discussing Rahul Gandhi's garbage talk. I am asking tonight to look at page number 8, Shravan, the shocking page, where I would like to quote and then tell you what happened. Anil Ambani says, however, if the lenders decide to go ahead and declare the accounts as fraud, they should be sensitized to the consequences that will impact the whole group as a whole. In other words, you try and go after a bit of us. Remember, we're going to sink together, Shravan, he's saying. He's saying, if I fall, you fall. If I'm in trouble, you're in trouble. If I go to jail, you go to jail. If I'm a fraud, you're a fraud. That's the effective layman argument Anil Ambani makes. Going and saying, therefore, that on declaration of fraud, and you can complete this sentence here, if you have the hard copy with you. Do you have the hard copy with you, Shravan? Or shall I read it?
I have the copy.
Yeah, can you read that part? Page number 8, on what the threat that Anil Ambani makes, should he be declared, should his actions be declared as fraud?
Well, page number 8 is where he first talks about the opinions, 7 opinions that he has put out. And
after
then
that,
he also throws it open to the lenders. And here the lenders are here saying, inquiring regarding the end use of the funds to PLI companies as part of wholesale exposure. He confirmed that the funds were 100% utilized for repayment. Then he goes on to basically say that there have been internal deliberations among the lenders. The lenders
No, not that part. There's a more dangerous part. Shawan, I just want to pause you for a minute. I want to hold this up. I want the people of the country to be really shocked at what goes on in the financial system. Anil Ambani then puts, Kishore, a whole list of exposure that he has. He's not hiding. You see this table out here. This is Anil Ambani's table. He says, and he ends with a number here, some 86,000 crore rupees. Can you zoom in further? He then says, listen, if I'm going to be in trouble, there's 86,000 crores of your money that I've put into trouble. So he basically is saying, I'm not a normal lender. I'm not a person taking a loan for a house or a car. I'm Anil Ambani. I've taken a lot of your money. You declare me a fraud, you're in big trouble yourself. Then he goes on to say, he says on declaration of fraud, 100% provisioning would be required for RHFL and RCFL exposure of the 11,200 crore and 9,953 crore respectively. Declaration of fraud, Kishore, by lenders further may trigger a systemic crisis, Kishore on screen, and collateral damage to India's capital markets. It would also majorly impact 75 lakh retail shareholders. He's blackmailing the system, which was the larger shareholder family, and the additional impact about 20,000 bondholders or RHFL. So he's saying, listen, you have the guts to put me in trouble? The whole India's share markets, capital markets are going to be in trouble. That's the argument he puts.
Yeah, Arnab, let me first, good evening to all my panelists. Let me first tell you that in 2008, when the Satyam scam erupted, the auditors were PwC again. What has happened? Tell me one auditor or one bureaucrat.
That's not the question. That's not the question. Was Anil Ambani trying to blackmail the system? Answer what he said here. If something happens against me, the whole system is going to be in trouble.
Okay, Arnab, listen to my answer. The whole
No, 1 minute.
Arnab, it's not blackmail.
Please let me complete
what is it? Whoa.
The whole system is going to be in trouble is a threat which should have been handled then. Why are we doing a media trial today?
Forget then and now, yaar. Forget then and now. I've got the paper now. I'm not answerable for the government.
Yeah, you are not answerable. You are asking the right question.
Subrasha, he's saying, why didn't you catch him then?
Yeah, 1 second. So
but I've caught him now.
So if he is being caught now, are you going to say that just because he was not caught, then he should be allowed to go scot-free?
No, the point, that's not the point.
No. If 1 minute. Suppose Subrashta takes a 1 crore rupee loan from a bank to make a house.
Okay.
But instead buys a Porsche and tells the bank, I can't give the money.
Okay.
Will legal action be taken against her?
100%.
100%. But if this man takes 86,000 crores, he can go and say, listen, you dare to take action against me, you're going to lose your jobs yourself. So rich people have one rule in this country.
No, the merits of the case are not discussed.
There is clear evidence of accountability catching up.
Yeah.
There is a clear evidence of accountability catching up. And when public institutions act against powerful promoters, the old playbook of influence and pressure stops working. We need to understand this and ask the right questions. My problem is not with the system, Arnab, right now. My problem is with people like with the gentleman who's been pitted against me on your television screen. Why should we not ask the question? Why should the timeline be an issue?
Let me rebut. No, just because there is a title saying defense Anil Ambani, don't think I'm his lawyer. You can't put a blame right on the national television.
Kishore, why are you getting worked up?
I'm not defending. So don't tell me that the gentleman against me. I have not supported Anil Ambani. So don't point a finger without knowing anything. Yeah. So let me not get personal. Do not get personal. I am saying it's a systemic corruption.
You are the one who is. You have, sir. Did you not raise the question of why ask the question now?
Yes.
Yeah,
the question can be asked today, tomorrow. It should have been asked yesterday, was not asked yesterday. But does that mean that we should not
why is it
ask
not
the questions today? It's simple.
No, I am asking a question about the system. You're talking about me. Why is it not a legitimate question?
No, we're not talking about you.
What was the system doing then?
No, we're not talking about you.
So no. Please, let's not.
The question is.
I did not ask the question about you. I'm just saying.
Put the grid on the bottom. Open the line. Let the people participate in the program tonight.
As I said, this money
Would
is
use
not
that grid. Put
Anil
that number.
Ambani's personal property.
I'm just asking. Take this graphic off. I'm saying something. I am only asking tonight. Do you feel angry watching this? If you're watching this at home. If you have someone in your family who's taken a loan and you're watching this at home, I think we have Shriram speaking. Can we cut to him, producers? Be a little quick in the reactions on the left-hand side. Thank you very much. More speed from the production team. Yes, Shriram.
Personal enrichment, and banks have tagged as fraud. That's where I think the regulatory system and courts and the regulators like ED, etc. should act post-haste. If there is business failure, if there is no personal enrichment, that's a different matter altogether. And there could be impact on other stakeholders like employees, investors, etc. But this is not a question of business failure. This is a question of personal enrichment by routing funds out of the legitimate companies to even foreign holdings and diverting funds. And that's where I think the banks have tagged them as fraud, these accounts as fraud. Secondly, that's where the regulatory agencies and the courts need to act post-haste, including arresting key executives, including probably Anil Ambani, because if he is signatory to many of the documents and he was in the know of these fraudulent transactions, then that...
The lenders decided not to act. Satya, the fact is the lenders ended the meeting with the decision not to act. I have only two things to say. Anil Ambani knew, the lenders knew, everybody knew. Now everybody is pretending nobody knew. At that time, everybody knew. Which means also, Satya, the government knew. These are public sector banks. The government knew, the central government knew, the Modi government knew. Satya, please unmute yourself.
Arnab, I think we are presuming they know. Arnab, when lenders
why would we not
loans,
know? A consortium.
Mechanism.
1 minute. Satya, a consortium of public sector banks are the lenders. The public sector banks are the lenders. This is not ANZ Greenlays. These are public sector banks headed by a consortium of the State Bank of India. Don't tell me they did not know.
Arnab, if they knew,
What is if they knew? I have their names and signatures with me.
It's a presumption that we are doing.
There is no presumption. I have, you know how many signatures I have? You want me to give the names? I have got everybody with me.
Whether auditors have flagged it.
The auditors have flagged it. The lenders knew. Anil Ambani made a case, came with 7 legal advisors, including 2 retired chief justices. And the lenders decided to do nothing. They said, all right, it's okay. Why don't you talk each other and just sort it out and help the poor guy?
That's
what they did.
Not be upheld. And second, the arrest as of now, the question of necessity of arrest arises. Whether he is evasive, is he not answering to the regulator? If both things are taken care where he answers to the regulator.
The Enforcement Directorate is convinced of the case. Now the question is, if this had been a politician, by now the ED would have arrested him. I'm not wrong, Satya. If this had been a politician by now, the ED would have arrested him. But this man's name is Anil Ambani. And the government's not doing anything. The ED knows he's done a lot of wrong things, Subrashta. We got to be honest tonight. The smoking gun is out. Imagine this was Vijay Mallya, Congress government. What would the same people be doing?
I don't think a collapse of this scale can happen in isolation. In our financial system, lenders are not children. Somewhere, someone assessed the risks and said, just let it be. Let's go ahead.
Let me come
Somewhere, someone saw the debts piling up and said, let's renew the credit.
Framework. There is a prudential norms. You can't violate and provide a loan. At that point of time,
I'm sorry, this case is very serious. Perception matters.
I don't know whether it was optimism, influence, pressure, or whatever you call it. herd psychology.
The money was siphoned off from the PSU banks.
Cannot flow without conviction from the top. And this is where the buck needs to stop. This is where we need to fix it.
He needs to be arrested.
Until the trial gets over, we can't say it is siphoned off Arnab. That's my humble submission.
Well, during the Vijay Mallya scrutiny, your humble submission to you, Ved Jain is also with us. The ED found that Vijay Mallya and his two firms had diverted 3,700 crore bank loan to a UK-based F1 motorsport firm. In fact, I had led the expose on Vijay Mallya. We found he had a T20 IPL team. I took him on for enjoying private jet sorties. And in the preliminary report by the ED, they found that all that stood in violation of the loan terms. In this case, it's a chance to make sure, Mr. Jain, that he does not fly out. I don't even know whether he has been declared, a person who's stopped from flying out of the country. What if he flies out tomorrow?
Mr. Arnab, I think let me put the facts. I think you have shared your reports, minutes, and made out a case. But I think you must look at the law. Lookout notice has already been issued in the month of July, I believe, and he can't fly it out, and that's not possible what Vijay Mallya did. And why the question before you is the facts are already in public domain. And when the facts are in public domain, you have to look into the law, what is the criminal law, what provides the criminal law today. We have a CRPC section 41, which requires reasonable suspicion of a cognizable offense. As per the facts stated by you, it appears, yes, there may be a reasonable suspicion all right there. But then arrest is there only when the person committed money laundering may flee, tamper with evidence, or not comply with the summons. And that's the reason for on the ground on which the arrest can be done. And in the case
was
of
Harshad Mehta arrested? Was Harshad Mehta arrested?
No, just look at the facts. In the case of Mr. Anil Ambani, he has appeared.
No, I'm asking you about the Harshad Mehta scam of 1992.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
At
so
that
in that case, Harshad Mehta, the allegation was that he was not cooperating. There were evidences of the cut. In this case, as you see, the evidences are going back to the year 2020.
My question to you, Ved, is this. Just a minute. See, this is a playbook. I know people may not like it. I know people in the ruling party may not like my asking these questions. I don't care. I don't care who cares what. For me, as a journalist, this reads like a playbook of corporate deceit, layered, interconnected, and disturbingly familiar. How could this go unnoticed for so long? If diversion and laundering of public funds raised by RHFL, Reliance Commercial Finance, it happens between 2017 and 2019. Yes Bank invests 2,965 crores in RHFL instruments, 2,045 crores in RCFL instruments. These turn into non-performing instruments miraculously by December 2019 very quickly, which means, whoa, they vanish.
No, Mr. Arnab, you please try to
I
understand.
have full sympathy for failed businessmen. This is not a failed businessman.
No, question is it went unnoticed. That is why we are discussing it today.
No, but at that time, 1,353.5 crores remains outstanding for RHFL and 1,984 crores for RCFL. How did banks like Yes Bank justify continued exposure despite visible signs?
No, see, now...
No, nothing to see.
See, Mr. Arnab, what we are doing today is, in retrospect, we are trying to find out what went wrong.
Of course, I'm in retrospect trying to find out what went wrong, but I'm asking, how did the whole system know that something was going wrong and yet say, chalta hai? We were told the chalta hai attitude was over.
See, this is the prima facie case which we are trying to make out today. And
no, sir, we are not making it out today. If Shawan is here with us, he'll tell you the BDA report was dated October 15, 2020. That examined financial transactions from April 1st, 2013 to March 31st, 2017.
As you rightly said, in the minutes of the meeting held, these facts have been all deliberated,
oh God, no.
discussed.
Sushil, this is serious. This is serious, Sushil. Unmute yourself, Sushil. Come into the debate tonight with Santosh Mehrotra.
Point on this that I want to bring to the House. You've laid it out very clearly. Everybody was involved. So there are two aspects to such a scam. The civil aspect of recovering the dues and the other aspect is criminal punishment so that society has an example for non-recurrence. When everybody is involved and nobody is holier than Caesar's wife, those who are screaming it's a fraud.
Scholars, extend. Okay, Santosh Mehrotra. So Shawan has a breaking. Shawan.
Well, in fact, Arnab, the lenders were essentially aware that the money was being diverted to related entities. In fact, they were told in this particular meeting, point number 6, they admitted to the fact that there has been a diversion to group companies. It was evident, but they did not want to declare this account, RHFL account, as fraud because there was pressure. Multiple lenders ended up raising concerns about these diversions, which are fraud, which was basically signed by none other than Anil Ambani himself. In the second document that we have, in the memorandum that we have, the credit appraisal memorandum, there is a clear mention of the diversions.
Yeah, absolutely, there is. Satya is on the debate. Viewers, my first caller tonight. Remember, Srinivasan from Chennai. Srini. Let's get the callers in, everyone. Yeah, Srini. Hi, Srini.
Hi, Arnab. How are you?
I'm doing well, yeah.
In fact, I would like to make a statement that these scamsters are the people who basically are telling that the lawyers that if you are there, I am there. So if this 86,000 crore money which he has taken as loan will be part of their cut also, because these are the lawyers Srini, who are in the system.
No, absolutely. The problem is of the system. Sagar from Mumbai. Sagar.
Hi, Arnab. Thanks for taking this up.
Yeah.
You are voice for common man like us.
Thank you.
I lost my savings in Reliance Home Finance bonds.
Oh.
Anil Ambani manages to set up almost everyone, it seems. Auditor, rating agency, trustee, regulator, SEBI as well. Auditor firms who does quarterly audit couldn't highlight the malpractice timely.
Wow.
Out of hundreds of quarters they audited, they couldn't find out one. Next, rating agency. They had rated RHFL bonds AA. If financial health of organization deteriorates, shouldn't the rating of the bonds also default?
No, Sagar, it's a whole system. Everybody is in it together. Sandeep from Karnal. Sandeep.
Yeah, hi, Arnab. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I think, hundreds and thousands of us are really suffering from this entire goddamn system of, shut your eyes, let the things keep working the way they are. I think it's a fantastic thing you picked it up. And, everybody who's getting involved in this should be put behind the
What do you
bar.
expect of the Modi government?
I expect Modi government to take legal action immediately, put him behind the bars.
You expect Modi government to put him behind bars. Voice of the people. Meenakshi Anand from Chennai. Meenakshi, this is going to become a big story. Hi, Meenakshi.
Hi, Arnab. See, this has been repeatedly happening with a lot of these industrialists doing this. And then they are just jumping the ship and running away from the country and finding their...
But what should Modi government do?
I think they should take legal action and put him behind bars.
Meenakshi, thank you. Modi government should take legal action and put Anil Ambani behind bars. Santosh Mehrotra, you're listening to this tonight. Any thoughts?
Yeah, indeed. I think taking action, putting him behind bars today is like saying, well, we're sort of bolting the stable after the horse has fled.
Well, he's not fled yet. He's not Vijay Mallya yet. He's here. We'd like to see him in jail. Dr. Pradeep Linge.
I'm using... Come
from
on.
West Bengal.
You've studied in Oxford. You understand the meaning of the phrase.
I do. I was just speaking. I do completely.
Good evening, Arnab.
I do, sir. Yes, Dr. Linge.
When we clearly see that there is a diversion of funds and the person is being not taken any action on him, whereas there are so many...
Santosh Mehrotra, louder. Yeah.
Because the auditors were failing and the regulators were failing. Today, what action the government needs to do is to put many more strictures upon auditors of such companies. Point one.
I agree with you on the whole system. I'm just saying... Yeah, I agree with you on the whole system. I don't have a doubt with you on that. Yeah. Dr. Linge.
The second sentence was just pull up people in the RBI who were the regulators.
Yeah, Dr. Linge's last word, Dr. Mehrotra. Yeah, Dr. Linge.
Good evening, Arnab.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
When things are very clear that there's a diversion of funds and people have, the whole money has been eroded, Okay, there are so many cases wherein genuinely people lose money, including myself. I've taken a loan of 12.5 crores from a bank. My whole project was busted because of floods, and now I am running behind the whole system. Bank is behind me, everybody is behind me.
We are fighting for you, Dr. Pradeep, because people like you who face all kinds of catastrophes and calamities, you have the system go after them. It is so ironical. I have the papers with me. I request everybody here to just understand what we are doing. The Modi government, the ED, should not make this just something to report. What we want to report is real action by the Modi government. The demand for Anil Ambani's arrest is growing, and it's not going away. See you tomorrow night. Good night and goodbye.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा जीरा सिप। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, healthy every day.
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet. Both aircraft operate with highly integrated avionics that depend on accurate satellite navigation, data link connectivity to the carrier, and redundant onboard sensors during launch, recovery, and maritime patrol. In the South China Sea, China...
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy, and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November 10. Under the umbrella of Exercise Trishul, India's armed forces are...
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर मसाला।
In a shocking turn of events over the South China Sea, 2 US Navy planes crashed into the ocean during what should have been normal training on the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier. The near simultaneous losses involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter and an F-18F Super Hornet.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, has it become a two-way battle for Bihar as we count down to polling day? Has Prashant Kishor's campaign fizzled out? At 8:30 tonight, interesting twist in the story of Selena Jaitly, who's fighting for a missing brother, seeking judicial intervention. And at 9 o'clock tonight, the spotlight is on Anil Ambani, with reports of assets under a massive freeze. I bring you papers which prove that Anil Ambani knew everything that he claims he did. And time to tell the truth about what's going on in Bihar. Ladies and gentlemen, no party has done anything really constructive for Bihar at a broad level. For the last 30 years, it's been 3 decades since the Mandal Commission. And while generations have moved on, from school to struggle, Bihar stands as it is. Why am I saying so? Bihar's per capita income is still the lowest in India. The politics still functions on caste arithmetic and MY plus formulas. The criminal nexus has never ceased in Bihar. Bihar's crime rate remains alarmingly high, ladies and gentlemen, and it's getting worse over the last 10 years. So the BJP NDA can't say that it's made things any better. And cash and muscle power are dominating the electoral ground game. We talk about the Jungle Raj of the 1990s, but I asked tonight, did Jungle Raj ever really leave Bihar? No matter who was in power. Whether it's Shahabuddin or Anand Singh, Shahabuddin then or Anand Singh now, the story is the same. It's Gunda Raj, Jungle Raj, and nothing changes. Then comes the case of Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor said, I'm going to bring in change. But he, unfortunately, is embroiled in the same kind of politics. He does everything with a Mahatma Gandhi packaging. But what did he do in reality? He was recruiting Mafia dons like Dular Chand, the same people who use threats and intimidation. So putting a face of Mahatma Gandhi does not change anything when he was using the mafia. Dular Chand, who was killed in Mokama, had over 2 dozen criminal cases against him, murder, extortion and ransom. And Prashant Kishor recruited the man once known to be the kidnapping emperor of Bihar. What a shame, Prashant Kishor. Then comes to the question of politics of power and dynasty. Nothing changes as well. They're all relatives and relatives. RJD to JDU to BJP to LJP. Every party has Bahubali leaders and dynasts fighting the elections. Prashant Kishor might have been a master strategist or positioned himself as one, but elections are not won on whiteboards or on Facebook or Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is elections are fought on the ground. Bihar voters are extremely confused. They are disillusioned. Every party looks the same. It's the question of voting for the lesser evil. 3 major points I want to wrap up with. Nitish Kumar is still not the chief minister face. Don't believe any of the other parties. PK's factor as a factor seems to be evaporating. He seems to be a little bit of a social media sensation. And lastly, if there's any reason why the NDA is significantly ahead, it's because of the infighting in the Mahagathbandhan. They got it wrong, and that's what's hitting the Mahagathbandhan very hard. That's perhaps the only real reason why the NDA appears to be ahead as of now. That's my assessment. Things can change, but that's my assessment as of tonight.
मेरे कहने का मतलब कि राम मंदिर बनाना जरूरी है, बट क्या अस्पताल बनाना जरूरी नहीं है?
With less than 48 hours until Bihar goes to polls, temples are being reduced to punchlines, faith being mocked as a distraction.
भगवान दिल में होता है, श्रद्धा में होता है, मंदिर में सिर्फ एक मूर्ति होती है.
In poll-bound Bihar, the opposition is back with its selective outrage on faith. And this time, it is RJD's Khesari Lal Yadav.
मेरे कहने का मतलब कि राम मंदिर बनाना जरूरी है, बट क्या अस्पताल बनाना जरूरी नहीं है? हाँ? रोजी रोजगार जरूरी नहीं है, शिक्षा जरूरी नहीं है. रोजी रोजगार के लिए ट्रम्प को वोट करने जाएंगे हम. भगवान दिल में होता है, श्रद्धा में होता है, मंदिर में सिर्फ एक मूर्ति होती है.
His remark has triggered anger for reducing faith to a political talking point.
500 साल जिस मंदिर के लिए हिंदू लड़ते रहे, अपने जान की बाजी लगाए, कुर्बानी दिए, और कोर्ट के आदेश आने के बाद जब वहाँ भव्य राम मंदिर बना है, तो आप बकवास करते हैं कि वहाँ मंदिर के जगह हॉस्पिटल बनना चाहिए. तो ऐसे आदमी को यदमुल्ला ही कहा जा सकता है. अब ये यादव नहीं हो सकता है.
As the battleground of Bihar heats up, the opposition's comments fit a familiar pattern. The indie bloc's bid to question faith whenever the nation is watching. But beyond the controversy, the real churn in Bihar may be political. Is the election polarizing into a two-way fight between BJP and RJD? Where are the other players, the smaller fronts and Prashant Kishor's once hyped Padyatra campaign? As the battleground intensifies, Prashant Kishor's visibility appears to have evaporated. His Suraaj movement, once billed as a third alternative, now seems missing from public discourse. The narrative, it seems, is coalescing into a familiar duel, BJP versus RJD. With this, Bihar's electoral map could be narrowing fast. Question is, in what way is Bihar election swinging?
पहला सवाल सैयद लरेम अकरम से. Syed Lareem Akram is national spokesperson of the RJD, with Rohan Gupta of the BJP, Sanjay Kumar of JDU, Kumar Saurabh Singh of Jan Suraaj, Sunil Kumar of Vikashsheel Insan Party, and Akhil Swami is pro-Congress. Now, Khesari Lal of RJD has launched an attack on Ram Mandir. What is the need? केसरी लाल जो आपके पार्टी के कैंडिडेट हैं, वो राम मंदिर पर बहुत बड़ा अटैक उन्होंने शुरू कर दिया है। कह दिया है कि राम मंदिर की ज़रूरत क्या है, राम मंदिर को नहीं बनना चाहिए था, अस्पताल बनाना चाहिए था, अस्पताल चाहिए, राम मंदिर ज़रूरी है मगर अस्पताल ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, भगवान दिल में है, मंदिर में क्या है, सिर्फ मूर्ति है, फलाना ठिकाना। सो मुझे लगता है कि जब आपको पता है कि इलेक्शन आप हारने वाले हैं तो मुस्लिम वोट कंसोलिडेशन के लिए आपका लास्ट ये गैम्बिट है। दिस इज़ योर लास्ट अटेम्प्ट टू गेट द मुस्लिम वोट।
अर्नब जी
जी
सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। और आपने जैसे ये बात कहा, मुझे आवाज आ रही है?
जी आ रही है, बोलिए।
आपने जैसा कहा, मैं नहीं मानता हूं कि आपको थोड़ा सा दोबारा सोचना चाहिए आपके वक्तव्य कि मुसलमानों को कभी भी खुशी किसी भी तरह के ऐसी बातों से नहीं होती जो बात आपने कोट की है। बहरहाल इससे मुसलमान मोबिलाइज नहीं होता। बहरहाल जो उन्होंने बात कही, उन्होंने एक परिप्रेक्ष्य में कहा, एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कहा, और उन्होंने राम मंदिर का अपमान नहीं किया, किसी मंदिर का अपमान नहीं किया, किसी मस्जिद का अपमान नहीं किया, और ना ही किसी देवी देवता का
नहीं किया इन्होंने किया।
ओके मैं मेरी बात कह लूं, आप अपनी बात कह लीजिए।
नहीं, इन्होंने किया। मैं आपको ये कह रहा हूं कि आपने कहा कि भगवान दिल में होते हैं, मंदिर में सिर्फ मूर्ति होते हैं। इस बात की ज्ञान आपको वोटिंग से 2 दिन पहले मिली क्या?
नहीं वो
तो फिर क्यों बोल रहे हैं ऐसी बातें वोटिंग के 2 दिन पहले?
सवाल वैसे आ रहे हैं यहाँ आके बिहार के अंदर में कैसी बातें की जा रही है। मोहिद्दीन नगर का नाम बदल के मोहन नगर रखेंगे, ये भी तो चुनाव के 2 ही दिन पहले आ रहा है। ये क्या है? ये कौन सी पॉलिटिक्स है जनाब? ये भी तो बात आप देखिए। और उन्होंने जो बात कही है वो ये बात नहीं कह रहे कि मंदिर नहीं बनना चाहिए। उन्होंने ये कहा है, कहने का लबोलवाब ये है कि अस्पताल की जरूरत भी है, स्कूल की जरूरत भी है, कॉलेजेस भी बनने चाहिए। कौन सी बात गलत कह दी है? मुझे तो इसमें कोई गलत नहीं लग रहा है। और या कुछ और भी कही है जो हमने नहीं सुनी और
आप कुछ भी कह रहे हैं। चलिए मैं अभी I'll get a response from BJP on this because my sense is viewers, जब उनको पता चल जाता है कि इशूलेस इलेक्शन है, रेवड़ी सब दे रहे हैं, गैंगस्टर सबके हैं, माफिया सबका है, दबंग और बाहुबली सबके हैं, तो डिफरेंशिएटिंग यही हो सकता है कि हिंदू मुस्लिम। राइट रोहन, आप भी हिंदू कार्ड प्ले कर रहे हैं, वो भी मुस्लिम कार्ड प्ले कर रहे हैं। क्या ये कन्वीनियंट पॉलिटिक्स है रोहन?
हिंदी में कहावत है, मरता क्या ना करता, एंड यू आर एब्सोल्युटली बैंग ऑन बिकॉज नाउ दे नो दैट दे आर गोइंग टू लूज इलेक्शन वेरी बैडली। तो जो इनका माय है मुस्लिम यादव, कैसे उसको अपीज करें? अदरवाइज व्हाई देयर इज अ रीजन टू क्वेश्चन टेंपल? यू कैन मेक योर पॉइंट फॉर हॉस्पिटल एंड स्कूल, एब्सोल्युटली नथिंग रॉन्ग ऑन दैट, बट व्हाई टू से दैट मंदिर में तो सिर्फ मूर्ति होती है? ये बोलने की जरूरत क्या है भैया? आप किसको खुश करना चाहते हैं? ये संयोग नहीं मानता हूं, ये प्रयोग है आपका, और ये प्रयोग बहुत पुराना हो चुका और हर बार विफल हो चुका। आप बुरी तरीके से बिहार में हार रहे हैं। जनता को आपका जंगल राज आज भी याद है, वो फिरौती वाला मामला आज भी याद है। अब हिंदू मुसलमान बंद करिए, अब कुछ होने वाला नहीं। अदरवाइज यू कैन मेक योर पॉइंट बट कैन नॉट क्वेश्चन सनातन ऑल द टाइम्स। सेम लालू प्रसाद यादव के कुंभ मेला तो फालतू है। व्हाई ही हैज टू से दैट? This is not the first time these so-called independent parties, they are questioning Sanatana and Hindutva. And now there is a reason behind that. Otherwise, any logical party in India, they know that people are very sensitive on the issues. Why will they question Sanatan? Because they feel that by doing that, उनका जो consolidation है, वो कहीं जो OIC से डर रहे हैं, उसको consolidate करने के लिए ये सब काम कर रहे हैं। हर रोज हो रहा है, हर दूसरे दिन हो रहा है। ये सहयोग नहीं हो सकता है। So I think it is now their compulsion. और विनाश काले विपरीत बुद्धि। But
Rohan, your party and your alliance, you wanted to bring the focus on Jungle Raj. However, will you admit that after the arrest of your candidate Anand Singh, the notorious gangster, mafia don, extortionist, kidnapper, blackmailer, alleged murderer, Anand Singh, everyone on. After this, you can't speak about Jungle Raj anymore. Would you agree, Rohan?
Arnab, definitely, you know that I answer very candidly. Say there's a basic difference here. When you say Jungle Raj, it is about the conspiracy which is happening from the CM house. वहां से फिरौती ली जाती है. I'm not talking about one individual. I'm talking about the complete system where CM house decide कि किसको उठाना है, किसको अंदर डालना है, किससे फिरौती लेनी है. This is not organized crime. I'm absolutely not going against your point.
What? It is unorganized crime.
Any party.
It is not organized, then what crime is it? Why did you give this mafia don, this murderer? It's like giving Ashok Chavan a ticket and talking about corruption.
No, see, there is a basic difference now. When you talk about individual, I completely agree. The Bihar politics, the way it is, we have to accept the fact it is not completely out of the...
We don't have to accept anything. We want the country's politics to change. That was the expectation from you. And on that note, I would like to go across to the very